Now once again it appears that my strategy of avoiding all forms of modern culture, be they films, music, etc., apart from games occasionally, has succeeded spectacularly, as I have no fucking clue as to what happened in this game. I mean, sure, things did definitely happen in this game, but whether they're actually related to the same earthly plane of existence that the rest of us inhabit, well, that's a matter of some debate.
The game begins by placing us in the shoes of everyone's favourite amnesiac assassin on his disastrous holiday to France. He is in Marseille to assassinate an African warlord named Wombosi, but his cover has been compromised and he's being pursued by a lunatic Irishman, the most dangerous kind of lunatic. After very subtly blowing up a vehicle in the middle of Marseille for no apparent reason, you chase the gun-toting Irishman through the streets, beating up various other nefarious persons until you reach an apartment where you engage in the game's first boss fight. The game's hand-to-hand combat is basically a mix of light and heavy attacks, which chain together to allow you to perform takedowns. These are special attacks that allow Bourne to utilise his special ability to kick the everlasting shit out of people using a variety of household items.
Take a look, it's in a book, a reading rainbow.
After beating O'Connor, you are sent to the docks to assassinate Wombosi. Despite my complete lack of knowledge, even I get the feeling that this will not end well. I am not fully aware of Jason Bourne's modus operandi. However, I generally consider one of the main characteristics of a competent assassin is subtlety and stealth. A few minutes into this mission and Bourne has already had a massive running gunfight through a major urban area, had a fist fight on a rooftop, and then shot down a fucking helicopter.
We got a Black Hawk down, we got a Black Hawk down.
Super 6-1 is down. We got a bird down in the city.
To put this more succinctly...
And it's not as if he's inconspicuous now, is it?
Anyway, Bourne's unique brand of subtlety continues with him shooting up the docks.
Railing kill.
They then call in a fucking lorry called the Rhino 1 to attack him. Are you sure this is Marseille? This looks more like Glasgow on a night out to me. As with fistfight takedowns, you can also enter gunfight takedowns that automatically take out a certain number of people with QuickTime events. You eventually fight your way out of the docks onto a boat, where you fight this enormous brick shit out of a dude named Solomon.
This is Solomon. I'm taking control.
I am assuming direct control.
Eventually Bourne is thrown off the boat.
He's dead. I threw him over the bow of the boat.
Well, of course. Nobody in history could survive that. I mean, it's not as if you two were just hitting each other with moves that would kill anyone else. Anyway, this turns out to be a ploy by Bourne to fake his death so he can sneak aboard Wombosi's boat to assassinate him in peace.
I hear he was coming for Wombosi. Wombosi himself got on the radio at least once. You'll never hear Wombosi on the radio. Yeah, he's relaxing now after Solomon got him. Says he's not to be disturbed. I think we should wake Wombosi. You do no such thing. Under no circumstances is he to be bothered. But after what happened on the docks, what happened on the docks is my problem, not Wombosi's. Tell your men to stay on high alert, and not one word to Wombosi about this.
Der Führer darf nicht geweckt werden.
After disabling the alarm system, which for some reason appears to be in the engine room, Bourne then fights his way through the boat using a combination of rolling pins, the deadliest of all weapons, and the Bourne method of unlocking doors, shooting the fuck out of it with a shotgun.
Some of the doors will be in lockdown. Find another way to disable them.
I must point out that Bourne also has a special ability named Bourne Vision that allows him to see enemies and objectives on his map, although it looks more like he's just put on the One Ring.
I see you.
A fight then breaks out between Wombosi's guards and some mercenaries he hired.
We're the ones in charge here.
Threaten me again.
I've had enough of your lies. You're nothing but a bunch of spineless dogs. I should kill you where you stand.
Hey, you scumbag! Hands off the shiny shirt! That's mine!
This leads to a change of plans. Bourne is to take the gun of the mercenary leader and use it to shoot Wombosi, thereby implicating a palace coup. Question. Wouldn't a man clearly seen attacking the port, blowing up a helicopter, and leaving a trail of bodies in his fucking wake be considered a potential assassin? That and the fact that after downloading shit from his computer...
No, my sexy brown...
The commander would later be found with his face full of photocopier, indicating that maybe this was not a palace coup.
The assassin is downstairs. Send backup.
En route!
We're all fine here. No, thank you. How are you?
Anyway, after this endless subtlety, Bourne finally makes it to Wombosi, and... he sees his sprogs and can't bring himself to shoot him. What the fuck?! So you don't mind making hundreds of children fatherless, but when one of them is looking at you, you lose your bottle? Oh, and look where it got you. Shot in the back and drifting out to sea. That's gratitude for you, isn't it? I don't shoot your boss so you guys can keep your jobs despite being the worst security force ever, and now you shoot me? Fucking ingrates. You can imagine what would have happened if the body had been discovered by the police. Sir, it appears to be the remains of Jason Bourne, noted assassin.
Well, I guess he wishes he'd never been born.
Anyway, we now flash to Zurich Airport. You have been hired to assassinate a war criminal who is in the custody of the EU. Damn those fuckers and their due process. I mean, what kind of asshole would try and do away with due process?
This is a no loading.
The red zone has always been for loading and unloading. There's never stopping in a white zone.
Don't tell me which zone is for stopping and which zone is for loading.
Listen, Betty, don't start off with your white zone shit again.
Anyway, you take out the security detail just as the guy's buddies come in to bust him out. I'm so glad the EU security is so good that it succumbs to 2 separate assaults in under 5 minutes. One from one guy, I must point out. I always like it when people yell, "Get him!" I imagine the soldiers going, "Oh, thanks for telling us. We were going to forget about him, but now, thanks to your Wellington-esque leadership, we shall defeat him."
Please stay away from gunfire.
No fucking shit, Sherlock. I've also noticed that Bourne's skill shot ability has the uncanny knack to hit the guy with a pea shooter halfway across the room and not the machine gun toting motherfucker half an inch from your face. The fight moves onto a train, and weren't those windows bulletproof a minute ago? The fight finally makes it onto an aeroplane. One thing you will notice is that the bosses take an inhuman amount of punishment, and you will wish that they were mid-boss saves.
What happened to the purity of unarmed combat?
You finally beat him, and the pilot is shot, so you leave with the only parachute. Question, why is there only one parachute? We cut back to Zurich again, but this time in the present day, and the American embassy, where the guards start chasing Bourne. Hey, Q-barging is a serious matter. I'm British, I know. After running through the embassy, Bourne then gets into a fight with the commander.
What the hell?
Sorry, sir.
He obviously isn't
Team
here.
Alpha commencing sweep.
You are nothing but unorganized, grabastic pieces of amphibian shit. I'll bet you're the kind of guy that would fuck a person in the ass and not even have the goddamn common courtesy to give him a reach around. You had best unfuck yourself or I will unscrew your head and shit down your neck!
After a rooftop escape, Bourne meets a random woman and she agrees to drive him to Paris. Why, of course, it is the most natural thing to do. We now move to a university. Okay, Bourne is both the sloppiest and luckiest assassin ever. Agent 47, he is not. And now, a few questions. Why does every person in this game look like wax? Where did this asshole come from? Why did this uni have a supply of shotguns? Why can't Bourne break down this door? Why can this military vehicle be taken out with a handgun? And why is stealth an option when it leads to fighting anyway?
You got troops forming around the building. You'd better manufacture a distraction, and fast.
Manufacture a distraction. Get it? Because he's in a factory.
Ha ha!
May I ask, is it too much for the game to interpret my constant holding down of the fire button as a hint that I want to keep firing after I reload?
The apartment is empty. Have you tried the phone to see if it works?
No, don't do that.
Sir, someone just picked up the phone in his Paris apartment.
Dumb
We've got cameras
bitch.
outside there. Show me something. Get everybody up. I want them all activated. Do it now.
Bring me everyone.
What do you mean, everyone? Bourne's in Paris. I want him in a body bag by sundown.
I want him dead. I want his family dead.
What's wrong?
Get back.
When it comes to fighting this guy, you must start the fight with the block button held down, or he will cheap shot you. A lot. Oh, thanks, honey. I needed to be reminded of that.
These people know who I am. I gotta stay here. I gotta figure this out.
So, figure it out.
Why is she staying? Why would she stay with a man she's known for a few days who just had to fight off an assassin and is clearly wanted by the police and other nefarious people? Anyway, you then have to escape the gendarme through Paris in a Mini. This reminds me of something.
Get your skates on, mate. No bib around your Gregory Peck today. Aye, from your plates of meat. Right upon the sink. This is the Self-Preservation Society. This is the Self-Preservation Society. Gotta get it moving, move on.
Jason! So, after barreling through the streets of Paris, no doubt killing or injuring dozens of civilians and policemen, they lay low in a motel. Ah yes, haircutting, one of the most romantic of all acts for people who barely fucking know each other.
Mitchell. What would your mama say?
What's the ribs?
If she ever knew that you were prowling out and carrying on that way, cracking in heads and jumping in and out of beds and hanging around the criminal scene. Do you think you are some kind of a star like the guys on the movie screen?
And now the post-coital flashback. Hey, at least it wasn't during. I can imagine someone going back to Da Nang mid-hump would be a tad weird.
What about the weapons?
We'll clean that up later. Just don't leave us too big a mess.
You don't want too big a mess. You do know who you're talking to, don't you? You know, it's a good job this museum doesn't bother with things like security cameras or anything. I must admit that I don't think Bourne's idea of art appreciation is the same as most other people's. It appears that some arms dealers are planning on selling a dirty bomb, but the buyer is attempting to backstab the dealer. Whatever happened to honour among thieves and terrorists and arms dealers?
Call in a cleaner. Get these bodies taken care of before Renard comes through.
Why do I imagine this is what the janitor does on his off days?
A dirty bomb like this is going to be at least the size of a briefcase. There can't be that many places where it can be hidden.
Dude, we're in a warehouse full of large boxes. There are quite a few places it could be. After defeating the arms dealer, the scene shifts to Bourne being attacked by a distinctly un-Clive Owen-looking professor. And despite the fact that you have a shotgun and he has a sniper rifle, he still can't kill you. Watch out, Bourne, we have another contender for world's sloppiest assassin. How the fuck did he get into that barn so fast? And of course, he gives you the generic, "You sent me when you went rogue" line. After taking out the knife-wielding assassin with a piece of wood, seriously, how did this organisation not collapse the day Bourne disappeared? He lies that he has killed his lady friend and goes after his headquarters in Paris. After confronting his boss, he just leaves him? What a fucking moron! Yes, gunfire in the streets of Paris. Top espionage there. Okay, who's this guy? Why did he shoot that guy? And why is he casually walking into a church?
Did you think I didn't see you?
Well, the shooting at me did kind of tip me off. Why are there explosives here? I may not be in any way religious, but I've sat through enough services in a cathedral under repair to know they don't have explosives around. Also, am I the only one who thinks this guy has a really annoying voice?
Knocking on heaven's door. Hey, 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 yeah. Knocking on heaven's door.
Anyway, you beat him. How the police aren't able to find you, I don't know.
This is your store?
Yes.
It's nice. A little hard to find, but...
Wait, that's it? What the fuck was that? Well, that's the Bourne conspiracy. To sum up, crappy fighting, stupid characters, and a distinct lack of Matt Damon. I am disappointed.